and today we're gonna read the Magic Tree of Merlin Mission 8, Blizzard of the Blue Moon. And we were gonna start reading at chapter 3, Lost in Central Park, at the end of reading at chapter 4 because it's a very long story to read all. Now, already read this one book with a lot of stories, and now here we go. And first you can read is the Magic Tree of Merlin Mission 8, Blizzard of the Blue Moon. Chapter 3, Lost in Central Park. Jack and Annie keep walking until they came to the ice pond again. We've been here before, said Jack. We're going in circles. How do we get out of the park? We have to try walk in a straight line, said Annie. And Annie has struggled on. Jack kept looking back, trying to catch sight of Teddy and Kathleen again. But it was getting harder and harder to see anything. Wet snow keeps sticking to the glasses. The snow had blown down to the sleeves of his jacket, under the neck scarf, into his mittens. Yikes, said Annie. She grabbed Jack's arm. Look! The huge wolf like a dog stood in the lodge above them and the mouth open. Wow, said Jack. The dog didn't move. It stood perfectly still. Annie laughed. Oh, he's a statue, she said. She ran to the peg-roll under the dog statue, brushed off the snow, and shouted to Jack. His name is Buttrell. In 1925, he carried the medicine 600 miles to the blizzard on Alaska. That's really great, said Jack, but how do you get out of the park? How do we get out of the park? Well, if we follow this path, it's bound to lead somewhere, said Annie, and Jack followed Annie up right path. They walked and walked, past the snow-covered outdoor stage and the fountain with a statue of an angel, raising her outspread wings, and the angel seemed fly away. Which way now? Said Jack. The two faps led away from the angel fountain. One right, one left. I don't know, said Annie. Pick one. And Jack handed to the left. Annie followed. They passed the frozen lake and walked around the orchard breeze. And Jack kept his eyes on the ground and walked. Every time he lifted his head, the snow froze his knees against his skin. And Jack tried to keep walking through the straight line, but path they were following began to twisting and turning to the maze. Different paths branched off, covering his way that Jack remembered information of the research book. The park has 32 miles of winding footpaths. We have got to take off these paths, he shouted to Annie, or bet it's lost the Central Park forever. Annie didn't answer. Annie, Jack shredded his faces from the cutting wind and looked back. He didn't see her, and Jack had turned around and around looking for Annie, but he couldn't see anything. The world was completely wide. Annie, he cried. Had she gone on another path? Was she lost? Annie, she could wander around the storm for horse like Jack. She could freeze to death. I have to find her. Jack tried to stay calm. He took a few breaths. Over mine, he thought. He could not remember which of the magic removes her left. He struggled to unbroke her his bare face. His finger felt frozen. He pulled out the book with the branches over it, trying to shelter over to the stone. He wiped his glasses off and read. Turn into dust, that wasn't help. Put a cloud from the sky, that would only make things worse. Find the treasure you must never lose. Oh, is Annie a treasure? Jack wondered. He thought of the treasure and something super valuable, like gold or silver of the rare jewels. But right now, Annie seemed more valuable than any of those things. She seemed like the most valuable thing in the world. Jack could finally remind and shouted, "Treasure forever! Must be never lost! Unmortal, unmortal." Jack! Jack rolled around. Annie is standing right behind him. "There you are," she said. "I was afraid you got lost." "I wasn't lost," said Jack. "You were lost." He slipped the remind book of the bare face. "Not me, you," said Jack. Said Annie. "Whatever," said Jack. "Just stay near me now." He took her hand and grabbed it tightly. "And okay, let's figure out what to do." "Wait, is there a castle over there?" said Annie. "A what?" said Jack. "A castle. Look." Peering through the storm, Jack could see a small castle sitting in the top of the snowy hill. Light had burned into the window. "Castle of the Central Park," said Jack. "What's weird?" "Let's go and see everyone inside," said Annie. "Maybe they can help us. People in the castle might know about unicorns, or last, know how to get out of the park," said Jack. Oh, but before Jack have lost Annie and Annie have lost Jack. But they think Annie thinks Jack have lost and Jack thinks Annie is lost. But Jack is behind Annie and Annie's behind Jack, and Jack is front of Annie. Oh, so it might be silly hiding. And Jack and Annie traveled up stone steps that led to the castle. The top of the steps, Jack glanced back to the park. He could barely make the two figures of the snow. "One is a dark cave with the raincoat." "Them is them," said Jack. A cloud of the wind driven snow blew over to the couple, and Jack had kept looking eager for another glimpse of the two young entrants. From the snow hide everything inside. "They will find us," said Annie. "Come on." She pushed open the door. The castle had led to the way inside. The door had slammed shut behind them. And Annie and Jack and Annie had to the dimly lit hallway. "Hello, who's here?" a man called. "Jack and Annie," shouted Annie. A tall, thin man came down to the carving stone stairway. There's an old-fashioned blue striped suit. "Goodness to children," he said. "What are you doing in here? Day like today." "We got lost in the park," said Jack. My name is Jack and Annie. My name is Jack, and this is my sister Annie. Pleased to meet you. I'm Bill Perkins," said the man. "Welcome to the Barren Castle." "What's this place?" said Annie. "The castle built in 1869, said the Mr. Perkins. "They mean to be very delightful surprise and one of the wonder of the park. Today is a delightful surprise with the nature of a story of the weather instruments inside." "Weather instruments? Oh, weather heavy instruments? Very good," said Jack. "Yes, I have to come from U.S. Weather Preview to check them," said Mr. Perkins. "I'm afraid right now that data was telling Dad where the word of the word going. To rest a terrible change." Jack shivered the damp clothes. "Our data is telling the same thing," he said. "The stone was blown into the whiteness and bringing in snow," said Mr. Perkins. "But after things will get worse. Another storm is coming up from the south, carrying the straightest way." "That sounds serious," said Annie. "That's worse than serious," said Mr. Perkins. "That's dangerous." After dark, the two systems will meet the crane monster blizzard. It couldn't be the worst in the New York history, even the worst than the blizzard of '88. Jack caught his breath. Poor New York, said Annie. Oh yes, this is the last thing our great city needs during this hard time, said Mr. Perkins, shaking his head. Excuse me, but I have a question, said Annie. Do you know where it's full of a moonlight? Oh, well, yes, there it is, said the Bull Perkins. You won't see it, though not those of the storm clouds actually be the second full moon of the month. Oh, a blue moon. Oh, the moon color is blue. I think it's yellow, very bright yellow, said Annie. You're actually right. A blue moon indeed, said Mr. Perkins. I have another question, said Annie. Do you know where we can find any usual animals? Jack intrigued. Or public display somewhere in New York City. Well, your best bet in New York will be a Brosno Zoo, said Mr. Perkins. This display kind of animals from all over the world. Great, said Annie. Oh, how do we get there? Well, you can't go to the zoo today, said Mr. Perkins. Not in this storm. No, of course not, said Jack quickly. But if we ever decided to go to snow in the future, how would we get there? Well, the best way would be take to the west side or IRT, said Mr. Perkins. What's that? Said Jack. A subway that runs into the west side, said Mr. Perkins. The number of the two train line take you to the Zoo. Oh, great. Thanks for everything, said Jack. We'd better get to go now, he said to Annie and started toward the door. Wait, there's a telephone upstairs. Let me ring off your parents. Perhaps they can come and get you, said Mr. Perkins. Well, said Annie, we haven't lived here very long. We won't have a telephone yet. Oh, she's right, said Jack. But he's not far to where we live. It just needs to get out of the park of the street. To the west side, said Annie. Oh, yeah, the west side, said Jack. Can you tell us how to get there from there? Certainly, said Mr. Perkins and opened the door. Wind blast inside to the point of the right. Cross the tower and stand in the walk of the downstairs to the path. The path will take you out of the park in 81st Street. He said, hurry home now. We will, said Jack. Thanks a lot, Mr. Perkins, said Annie, and she and Jack have handed back into the blizzard. Now it's chapter 4, hard times, and tomorrow we'll start reading at chapter 4 or the end of reading at chapter 5 or 6, okay? And now but did you have fun? You lost English country. We come back with these books, but not this story because it might be a new chapter to read. Okay, now bye-bye everybody and have a nice day. And if you like my YouTube, please thumbs up my YouTube. Bye-bye everybody. Have a nice day. Bye.